Just off Lakeshore Drive, nestled next to Lake Michigan. That's where you find historic Soldier Field in the great city of Chicago, Illinois. Today, it's a Week 9 matchup set to go here between the Miami Dolphins and the Chicago Bears. The first 2 months of the regular season down. What will the final 2 bring us as we're off in Week 9? On the return, it's Tristan Ebner from his end zone. And that decision to bring it out ends up not being a good one. Cost him about 5 yards as he's tackled at the 20. They'll start with the option. And down he goes, but he takes it up to the 40. First play of the drive, a success, 19 yards. And this, it's certainly something to watch out for. He is not afraid to call his own number on plays like that, and here he takes it for good yardage.
And we know this defense prepared all week for this, but sometimes when you see it in person, it's a whole different ball game, and all that preparation, it goes right out the window.
They'll fake the handoff. Now Fields. And he'll get this complete downfield to Kmet. And he takes this one down almost all the way to the 30. Another big play as they get 28 out of that one.
I know exactly what's going to be said about that play from the defensive perspective.
What's that?
That's why I tell all you guys we need more than one tackler to the ball. He broke the first tackle. Luckily enough, there were more people there to get him down.
Nowhere for Fields to turn, and down he goes. Melvin Ingram able to run him down for a loss of 12 that time. He probably feels like he cannot get a break. He was sacked 7 times last week. And here we go again in the first quarter.
And we always talk about the internal clock of a quarterback in the pocket and how he has to have a real keen sense of it in order to get rid of the football. After being sacked 7 times last week, that clock has been sped up.
And the defense has it covered. It's intercepted. Picked up by Xavier Howard. And the Dolphins are going to get possession here as they force the opening drive turnover.
Well, they certainly weren't afraid to let it fly early, and they hope that'll keep the defense honest and keep the offensive guys excited about getting back out there. They are in attack mode in this game. It did backfire a little bit. Now you're just hoping your defense can keep them off the scoreboard so you're not facing a deficit the next time you run out there.
Now, meanwhile, a pass that should have been intercepted, but it winds up falling incomplete. After the incompletion, they'll try once more from the 20-yard line on 2nd and 10. First carry for Raheem Mostert. Fights forward for only about a yard up to the 21.
Well, that's a good start to this drive on the defensive side of the ball.
Force the incompletion on first down. Then you're able to shut down the running play on second.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised now. A little bit of pressure going at the quarterback in the expected passing situation.
Throwing is Tagovailoa on 3rd down here. Well, this is intercepted, intended for Hill. Picked off by Roquan Smith. And they will score a pick 6 for the Bears touchdown. So, Charles, our first points of the game provided defensively. What a play that was.
And I can only imagine that the folks at home watching are thinking to themselves, that's one of those plays where once the ball leaves the quarterback's hands, you just sort of go, uh-oh, and wait for the result. This time, the defense benefited.
Santos able to tack on the extra point, and it's now a 7-0 game. Shot on offense following that pick 6, and now the kick is away. And from deep in the end zone, he's going to bring this out. And he'll be dropped at the 21-yard line. So bringing it out of the end zone proves not a good decision. Loses him about 4 yards. The Dolphins at the line ready for their next drive. 3-5 is where they sit on the year. A very uneven start is certainly not an ideal position to be in at the halfway point of the season. CD, do you see an avenue where they can still be a playoff team, or is that ship sailed?
And he fires one that's intercepted.
Picked up by Jaquan Brisker. And not the first quarter that he was hoping for. Now 2 interceptions thrown.
Well, the good ones, they find a way to compartmentalize, right? Put these behind them, have that short memory, but understand why they threw the 2 interceptions. They go on and usually play a pretty decent game. Other quarterbacks, they have a hard time getting past it and often put the ball up for grabs the rest of the ball game.
Throwing on first down, but this one winds up to be incomplete.
And to put it mildly, this is a tough spot defensively. They have to come right back out and defend their red zone. But how about that good first step towards forcing them to settle for at least 3 points? I think they're also thinking bigger right now. Imagine being able to stop them totally and change the momentum.
2nd and 10. Fields again. This one swung out to Montgomery. Now a stoppage here as it looks like we've got a Dolphins shaking up on the play. So as the medical staff takes a look, we'll step aside. Dolphins bring on an extra defensive back on 3rd down. Now Fields. And they finally catch up to him and take him down. Jeez, where was he going? A huge loss there. Emmanuel Ogbah has now recorded 10 sacks on the season. And this is just outside the right upright. It's no good. Okay, so the personal foul penalty. And those are some important yards lost right there.
Yeah, it all comes down to discipline, doesn't it? And every team tells us that they coach it, they preach it. In this case, it slipped a little bit.
First carry now for David Montgomery. Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll be 2nd down. Now, look, that wasn't a huge gain, but those are the types of carries I think they were missing in their loss last week. They couldn't get him going on the ground.
Did you get the same feeling I did during our meetings, that they kind of regretted that he didn't touch the ball?
Absolutely.
You know, hey, he should have touched it more last week. They weren't going to make that same mistake, and they've taken care of that early.
So 5 yards here, 5 on the play. And that'll bring up what looks to be a 3rd and inches. Can't be more than a half a foot. And they'll let their fullback try and push the pile. And he gets the first down yardage he needs before he's brought down at the 6.
3rd and inches, just turn around, hand it to the big guy, and let him plow forward and pick up a first down. A lot of people think that the offensive line, they may almost take the play off because they got a big guy back there pushing forward. I think it actually works in reverse. I think they block harder because they love seeing that guy get the ball because he doesn't touch it very often.
Here's Fields. Looking for Jones, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Eric Rowe. And the Dolphins are going to have it here as they'll start at their own 24-yard line. CD, when he went to throw that, I'm not sure if he just didn't see where the defense was. Whatever the case, not the throw you're looking for on 1st and goal.
Not at all, because, look, let's face it, that close to the goal line, if you throw an interception, is going to hurt on any down. But really, the only down you can kind of live with is if you do it on 4th down. The first 3, if you don't have it wide open, just get rid of it. Make sure they can't get it and live to fight another down. 1st and goal, and you throw the pick, not good at all.
The success there, Charles, coming on the outside of the field, the ground game. Curious to see if that continues as we progress.
Yeah, we often talk about a variety in play calling and usually between run and pass. But in this case, with strictly the run game, you can be creative there as well. Run it inside, run it outside, keep the defense off balance.
And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. That one good for 13 and a Dolphin first down. Boy, an effective play there, getting their wideouts involved in the run game.
And what they're always hoping on that type of a play, that they can get to the end of the line and have a chance to turn it upfield as he did there. That means they controlled the blocking and took care of the defensive end of the outside linebacker to give him that lane.
And I guess I need to clarify. Oh, and Tua going to be intercepted for the third time. Picked off by Jalen Johnson. And they will score a pick six for a Bears touchdown. Charles, it's now a 2-touchdown lead in the opening quarter. Following that pick six, they are off to a fast start in this one.
And absolutely ecstatic on the sideline after that play, aren't they? Not just because they've got the lead, but how about seeing one of their guys get a chance to take it in for six? Already up a pair of touchdowns. They got everything going their way early on.
So they throw the pick six. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. This will be returned from deep in the end zone. And no chance to get away as they'll get him down at about the 17-yard line. The Dolphins at the line ready for their next drive. They find themselves in a good-sized hole here, and a good-sized hole early on in this game as they come up on first down. A nice-looking play to start the drive down the middle and complete. And they work this well upfield across the 45. Give him 30 yards there. The big play has him all the way out near midfield for a 1st and 10. From the gun, it's Tua. Open man, that's Gesicki down the field. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. 14-0 the score. This is the NFL on EA Sports. This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. They run out of the shotgun with Mostert. And forget about finding a lane. He barely had time to look up before he was planted in the backfield. It was Daron Payne who got in there to make the play. They'll have to deal with a 2nd and 14 now after the loss. Throwing now is Tagovailoa. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Eddie Jackson picks it. And the Bears are going to get it back here just past the 35. This defense had 3 interceptions last week. They're on pace for more than that here. 2 in the first half.
Do not adjust your set. This is not instant replay. This is a defense that is locked in. They're essentially running the routes for the receivers and turning them into the receivers themselves, aren't they? I mean, it is amazing what I'm seeing.
Got a man, it's caught at the 6-yard line. A huge play there for Chicago. 57 yards.
Well, partner, I'm not sure how this drive's going to end, but how about the way they flip field position there? A nice attacking play that picked up a heck of a chunk of yardage.
And they'll try the option on 1st and goal. Fighting for the end zone. He lost the football. It's out. And this is picked up by the Dolphins. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. He let one slip away last week as well, so now 2 fumbles lost in as many weeks.
Well, we were out of practice, and we watched him work. And what did his quarterback coach talk about all week?
Being a 2-hand monster.
And we looked at each other. 2-hand. Oh, I get it. 2-hand monster. Both hands on the football. Taking care of it, putting it away so the ball doesn't get dropped.
25 yards that time.
Well, these guys have definitely been outplayed in the first half. I like their countenance. I like the way that they're having panicked out there, the way they're carrying themselves. They're starting to move the ball, and what you have to do, maintain your poise, and start to put together some drives.
And my goodness, another interception. Picked up by Jalen Johnson. And the Bears are going to get the football here as he gets this up to the 38-yard line. At the line, prepping for their next drive, the Bears offense. It's been a good first half so far. They're up 14-0. Points here that could really put them in command before intermission.
Yeah, and it's all well and good what they're seeing and how they're feeling right now. But this is the NFL. How many times have we watched 14-0 leads evaporate and quickly? So how have we seen them combat it? Continue to run your offense, but don't back off at all. Don't start looking at the clock. Don't start thinking about, hey, just take care of the football. Keep attacking. Usually the best way to maintain control.
Fields throw here into the hands of Jones. His second catch, and this one not nearly as electrifying as his first. And it'll bring up third down now.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good head of steam going.
Looking in zone for Jones. And unable to connect. Incomplete. Well, give them credit. They took their shot, but it's going to bring up fourth down. Fourth down, so they send out Trenton Gill. Only 2 punts for him last week in the loss as he gets this one away. And he'll take this in at the 1-yard line. Officially, that'll go as a 52-yard punt. Not too shabby. And the Dolphins' drive will start deep in their own territory with a 1st and 10. The Dolphins at the line ready for their next drive. And they've sort of lost their way, partner. How do they recalibrate and get this proverbial train back on track?
Well, this is where leadership really comes into play. How's the head coach handling it? The offensive coordinator? Sometimes they just make a joke. All right, guys, you had your fun? All right.
Throw it out the window.
Yeah, let's get back on track here. And sometimes that'll work just fine.
I guess it's time now to lean on that leadership. Officially nothing on that last run. They'll try again, 2nd and 10. Going to the air, Tagovailoa. They're going deep for Hill. And now here's another interception. Picked off by Jaquan Brisker. Well, to be frank, CD, this is getting tough to watch. I mean, you feel for him, but 6 interceptions, that's at a whole new level. It's not a good level.
It makes it tougher and tougher to come up with ways to try and support him. But you have to as a team because you can't just throw your quarterback aside. You're going to need him later on. But it reminds me of a time that a former defense coordinator of mine told me he was in a game where his quarterback threw 7 interceptions. So after the 6-1, one of the defensive players went to the quarterback and said, here's what you do. Throw the ball to the other team, and let's see if our receivers can pick it off and turn it into a completion.
That's just mean. I don't know that I can go down there and say that to him right now. Probably pretty fragile. Now a 1st down throw, Fields. He gets this to Jones over the middle. And they'll work this down inside the 30. The Bears at 5-3 now on the year. They coming off the loss last time out, but they've been playing better than 500 ball the last couple of months, CD. 5 wins in their last 8 games.
And last week, not only on the scoreboard, but I saw it on tape as well. Definitely not one of their finer performances because they were outclassed pretty much right from the start. So I think there'll be a renewed emphasis on trying to be a little better out of the gate in this one so they don't fall into a big hole.
So here's a 1st and 10 now down inside the 20. Fields. And this is caught at the 8. And the Bears are going to have a 1st and goal as the tackle is made at about the 5. Fields now to throw. And that is caught. Touchdown, Bears. Dante Pettis, his 2nd touchdown on the season. And the Bears have moved out in front by 3 touchdowns. Santos with the extra point, and it's now 21-0. Now after the touchdown, here's Santos to kick this one away. They'll elect to bring it out here from the end zone. And he's able to get this across the 20, but not by much as he's marked down officially at the 21. The Dolphins at the line ready for their next drive. Well, CD, you kind of feel like they're in a bit of a danger zone right here because now you're down 3 scores, and I know we're in the first half, but The way this offense hasn't been able to generate anything, you feel like they probably need to get something going on this drive, right?
Yeah, and sometimes I overuse that this is an important possession. But I think this...
And my goodness, another interception. And they will score a pick six for a Bears touchdown. Santos now to add the PAT. And oh, it's wide right. No good. So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick six. And now the kick is away. And we'll see a return here from the end zone. And this return will net positive as he gets past the 25 and up to the 27-yard line. The Dolphins at the line ready for their next drive. Charles, we'll see what they can do here. Not a ton of time left, but enough certainly to get points out of this drive, and they need them right now because they're trailing.
Yeah, this is exactly why you practice a 2-minute drill all through camp and at least one practice each week before a game. A minute left, more than enough time to string a few completions together, reach the end zone, and then make that walk back to the locker room just a little more animated.
Call it a full 3 yards in the wrong direction there. Brings up second down. Looking to pass. Tua. And now here's another interception. Eddie Jackson picks it. And the return comes to a halt right at the 44-yard line. On first down, it's Fields. Looking downfield for Jones. And that is incomplete.
That's tremendous field position that they were given following the turnover, but they've still got work to do to get to field goal range, and the coverage we're seeing isn't going to make it easy.
So after the incompletion on first, now 2nd and 10. From the gun, here's Fields. And the Dolphins rush gets home. Down he goes. Emmanuel Ogbah. That is now 2 sacks for him here in this first half.
Well, someone's closing in on the league lead in sacks. He came into the game in the top 5. Now you add 2 more to his total.
A final shot before the break. Fields. He's going to throw one up for the end zone. Got his man, and it's caught for a Chicago touchdown. Velus Jones as time expires in the first half. And the Bears are able to widen their lead here in his first half. Well, Charles, he's still a young signal caller in this league, 2nd year in the NFL. And I don't know if last year as a rookie if he would have worked through his progressions like he did on that touchdown pass. I
think you're right about that. We're seeing him grow up right in front of our eyes because when he went to his primary read, he recognized that they were all over that. So he continued to survey the field, picked up another target, delivered a pass exactly where it needed to be. A very mature play for the 2nd-year quarterback.
And we welcome you back now. Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin, getting set for quarter number 3 here. The Dolphins down on the scoreboard, but they'll have it first as we get going in this 3rd quarter. And here comes a return from the middle of the end zone. And only able to get this to the 19, so probably should have opted for the touchback. The Dolphins at the line ready for their next drive. And they have a mountainous deficit looming in front of them. It was really, Charles, a disaster of a first half. So where do they go from here?
Well, first thing they have to remember is that what's done is done, and there's no going back. And now you have to play this drive by drive. Obviously, come back in this spot. Pretty unlikely, but you still have to go out, take pride in your work, and try and put something together here in the second half.
From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10. Again, they'll run it with Mostert. And now they're going to get him down right at the line of scrimmage. Justin Jones there on the stop. So after the run for no gain, here's 2nd and 10.
He continues to struggle to find a crease to break off a big one. It might need to just put that aside and just try and ram his way forward and get what he can.
A 2nd down pass play there, but it's incomplete.
I'm sure it was a tough halftime trying to figure out some strategy to get things going. Trailing by a lot when they went into the locker room. He's just trying every avenue to spark his team here to begin the 3rd quarter. Not a lot going on that play, though.
Out of the gun on 3rd down, here's Tua. Pressure comes and down he goes. Call it a loss of 4 there on the sack. And speaking of the number 4, it brings up 4th down now. And here's Morstead now as he sends this one away. A big kick that time, 52 yards. And the Bears take over. The Bears offense ready to go for their next drive. They're obviously right now in the driver's seat, comfortably ahead. They've scored on a couple straight possessions, Charles, and I mean, for them, I guess it's just more of the same, right? Keep doing what you've been doing.
Yeah, it's not typical for us to see games out of reach in the 3rd quarter. Right now, they're unstoppable in this one. And seeing how they just came out onto the field, it does appear like they're done scoring points in this one. They look awfully confident.
Nowhere for Fields to turn, and down he goes. Emmanuel Ogbah able to disrupt yet another pass play. That is his 3rd sack of the afternoon.
Well, this has to count as a great team effort today, but this man, he's been at the center of all of it. Really special day for any defense to have this many sacks in a game, even more so for this player. One of the best individual efforts of the season.
Oh, Fields is intercepted for a 3rd time. Picked off Byron Jones. Well, with the size of lead that this offense has, I don't think that interception is really going to affect them much. But at least for this defense, something small to hang their hat on.
Yeah, and let's face it, they're not even scoreboard watching anymore, right? They're just trying their best to make a play, get themselves off the...
And my goodness, another interception. Well, he's free going down the left side. It's a foot race. And they will score a pick 6 for a Bears touchdown. Well, I mean, you get it. They're trying to make something happen here in this 3rd quarter, CD, but I don't think a pick 6 is exactly what they had in mind.
No, not at all, because this offense, they've been stuck all game long. Haven't done it to scoreboard yet, and they're kind of forced to take a few chances here. And that one, it backfired in a big way.
He will return this from deep in the end zone. And he'll be brought down shy of the 20, so the decision to bring it out of the end zone, not a good one. The Dolphins at the line ready for their next drive. Well, we're still in the 3rd quarter, so there's some time to kind of clean this up and make it look more respectable now. A win, that's probably gone out the window, Charles. But I don't know. Do you look at this as a time to just improve and maybe start to look towards the future?
I think you have to find something to play for, something to grasp onto until the clock runs out. But, Brandon, we've been around this game a long time. This is an outlier. You don't get many blowouts like this no matter how the game looks on paper going in. This one has turned out to be everyone's worst nightmare realized.
He'll lose a yard on the play, so now they need 3 yards on 3rd down. Coming up here looking for 3 yards to pick up the first. Tagovailoa going to try and throw on 3rd down. He is going to find Hill here. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. It was 3rd and short, and they go flying past the marker for a gain of nearly 30 yards. So into Bear territory now. This is 1st and 10 at the 46. Throwing there, but this pass is going to wind up incomplete. Another throw there off the mark, and obviously he's battled all of the interceptions. Things just haven't been true to form for him. I don't know. What do you think's going on out there, CD?
That's a great question, and my suspicion is he's been coached really well to to not show that he's having a problem. You know, they always tell you no matter what, you keep throwing the football with confidence. Well, we're not seeing a confident thrower right now. He's off balance, the passing game's off balance, and the defense is taking advantage.
Oh, Hill, great grab. He's going to go out of bounds, but he takes this one down just shy of the 20. Put him at 77 yards receiving for the ball game. It's a first down.
Ready. 52 blaster.
Up the middle they go with Mostert. He finds a little bit of room, enough for 4 yards. It'll be second down. This defense just continues to bottle up that ground game. And look, I mean, the deficit right now for this offense is so big that it might not matter. But you're still in the third quarter. They're probably going to have to try things through the air, Charles.
I agree with you totally. That's what they'll have to do. They do need to run it occasionally to take a few hits off the quarterback, because right now, you just know those pass rushers are fired up to get after him.
To throw on 2nd and 6. Tua. This is caught. And stopped a few yards shy of the goal line at the 3. And now before this first down play, we're going to get a timeout here. It's just their first, so 2 remaining as they burn one here in this third quarter.
Ready, set. 10 cycles. Ready, set.
Here's Mostert. And he's going to get this back to the 3-yard line and no further.
As usual, the hallmark of a good run defense, linebackers making plays near the line of scrimmage. Absolutely nowhere to run there.
Second down and goal. Tua. He's got it. Only able to pick up 2, and that leads us to 3rd and goal. They'll run with Mostert, and he is in. Touchdown, Miami. Raheem Mostert, his 3rd rushing touchdown of the year. And the Dolphins are able to at least get 1 score back. Jason Sanders now for the extra point. So they get 1 score back, but still a long ways to go here in this third quarter. Morstead out now following the touchdown to kick. And they're going to mark that where it went out of bounds, so really good starting field position up past the 40-yard line. The Bears in good field position to start out 1st and 10 at the 41-yard line. Out of the gun, Fields. Looking downfield for Jones. And this is going to fall to the ground, incomplete. That very nearly their 4th pick of the game. Instead, 2nd down.
When you look at the scoreboard, you'd think they'd be pretty comfortable right now with this lead, but these guys are absolutely not going to let up. They want to increase their lead, and they want to do it with a big play. Unable to connect in that attempt.
Now, meanwhile, a final play here is incomplete, and that's going to take us to the end of the third quarter of play. So they'll get a little extra time to come up with his 3rd down play as we played 3 quarters. We'll return with more after this. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Checking the NFL scoreboard there in the third at MetLife Stadium. The Bears on third down, 2 for 5 to this point. This is 3rd and 10. It's the Jets who are leading that ball game at the moment. Looking downfield for Jones. We'll keep you updated on that one as it progresses.
Partner, in the sportsmanship handbook, there's something to be said for calling the dogs off in a blowout. But these defenders, they also know this is the NFL, and it's their job to stop them, whether they're in the game or they're down by a handful of touchdowns.
And no return here. Where will they spot it? They say just outside the 20-yard line. The Dolphins at the line ready for their next drive. Their mini 2-game win streak appears it might be going by the wayside unless they can pull a rabbit out of their hat. Now whistles and a flag, and I believe a Dolphin got going a little early. The false start backs him up 5, 1st and 15. Tua going to throw. Getting this out to the flat, Mostert. Give him a gain of 5 on the completion, and it'll be 2nd down. One thing I think that's safe to say defensively, the tackling's been really good.
And because of that, it's been very, very hard for them to move the ball because you're not getting the benefits of run after catch. They're tackling him almost on the spot. That means you have to run extra plays, harder to...
He's got a man, complete. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. It'll go as an impressive 31-yard gain. From the gun, a run with Mostert. And he sneaks his way forward only for a couple here. 2nd down. From the 44, Tua. He'll swing this out to Mostert. So back-to-back plays, each get nothing. And that's going to set up a tough 3rd and 9. Here's Tua. And he's going to be sacked. They sack him back right at the midfield stripe. The Dolphins going to take their 2nd timeout. That's going to leave them with just 1 remaining here in this 4th quarter.
Ready.
4th down, 4th quarter. Here's Tua. And now here's another interception. Picked off by Tavon Young. And he will take this all the way down to the 38-yard line. The utter domination here just continues. This defense, I don't know what more we can say all around about their performance.
Well, it certainly feels in this game like maybe they're facing a Canadian defense. 12 guys on the field. It feels like there's an extra on every snap because they have really struggled to make headway through the air.
And at the 7-yard line, the catch is made. And he gets it all the way down inside the 10 and mark him at the 5. A very nice pickup of 33 yards. On 1st and goal, they'll try the option left. And he takes this one in for a Bears touchdown. Justin Fields keeping it himself from 5 yards out. And the Bears look like they're going to get back in the win column as they extend their lead here in this 4th quarter. Santos able to tack on the extra point. And this one was over a while ago as they just add on to that big lead. And here comes a return from a few steps. And all deep in his own territory. He coughs up the football. So a teammate picking him up there, that was nearly disaster.
And the way that you coach these things, you want to make sure you have eyes towards the return guy because you want to make sure that the catch is secured. A lot of teams do that. They have at least one guy. Okay, you're responsible for making sure he secures the catch. He's not always the one that makes the recovery, but he can always sound out the alarm. Hey, ball's on the ground. We got to get it back.
Yeah, boy, this defense again really making things tough on him as they stop him for no gain. And the trend continues here in the 4th like it was in the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. He's had nowhere to run.
And you're probably thinking to yourself, why do they keep feeding him the football? Well, they trust him first and foremost. They do believe that over time he might actually pop one of these runs. But bottom line is he takes care of the ball well for them, so they'll keep handing it to him.
And not much there. Maybe a yard up to the 24. Seems pretty obvious defensively. A key was stopping the run game. How have they done it so successfully.
To me, it seems that these guys really did a nice job of paying attention during the scouting report meeting. And you know, Brandon, when they do those, they talk about the top.
To a hit, and the ball is out. Offensively lucky there, able to keep the football, but now 4th down, so they'll have to move the wall.
I do think, though, they're going to look at this as a positive. One, they recovered the fumble, so they retained possession. But two, being able to punt it changes field position for them. Imagine if that turnover takes place there. Now your defense has to go onto the field and try and hold. Instead, they get a little breathing room.
Fields on 1st down. And it's a fumble. And this is picked up by the Dolphins. And they have possession, and they have it at the 38-yard line. A little careless with the football, and he also had a fumble loss last week, didn't he?
He certainly did, and when I'm watching him play, the one thing that comes to mind is always remember, traffic, turbulence, people around you, 2 hands. Get 2 hands on the ball. Grip it tight. I know it looks cool to have it in one hand. Put it away, tuck it away, because you've got to take care of the ball.
Just 2 minutes remaining here in the 4th quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. Behind the chains, 2nd and 13. Once again, it's Mostert. And that play going absolutely nowhere as he's belted before he could get out of the backfield. They'll wind up losing 3. And now it's 3rd down. Tua sets up to pass it. He's going to let it fly. And my goodness, another interception. Kyler Gordon picks it off. And the Bears are going to have the football here at their own 18-yard line. Another great play defensively. They've been sharp on both sides of the ball, Charles, but that interception means that this defense will very well keep them down to single digits on the scoreboard in this game.
And that's certainly something to smile about, isn't it, partner, if you're on defense? Because your goal every game is to pitch a shutout, but you and I both know that's pretty unrealistic. But
it's caught inside the 25. And he'll be taken down at about the 22-yard line. Offensively, another big chunk of yardage, Charles, but defensively, they had all this talk about trying to limit explosive plays. They have not been able to do that.
They discussed it all week, but they haven't been able to execute it at all.
And he will get into the end zone. It's another touchdown. This thing is ugly. But not much defensive resistance on that drive. And really, Charles, the way this offense has been humming, they haven't faced much defensive resistance the entire game.
Yeah, I think it's safe to say that one team, their defense did not wake up and make it to the stadium for this one. There may be some major changes on that side of the ball when we see them the next time out.
They'll elect to bring it out here from the end zone. And tackled at the 21-yard line, so a net negative there of 4 yards. The Dolphins at the line ready for their next drive. We certainly had a sense coming in here that these guys were in for a tough one on the road. That has been how this ball game has played out. They trail big as we continue on now here in this 4th quarter. Out route to Hill, complete. And he'll be out of bounds across the 30-yard line. So the completion results there in 9 yards. And it'll bring up a 2nd and short.
And cycle.
A run with Mostert up the middle. And there just continues to be nowhere to run. He's bottled up again at the line of scrimmage. 3rd and 1, and Tua wants to throw it. And now here is another interception. Picked up by Jaquan Brisker. And they will score a pick 6 for a Bears touchdown. Well, this one was already ugly, and now it's just kind of becoming a feast on the defensive side of the football.
Yeah, partner, this is a unit that knows they've got this game in the bag with this huge lead, and it's going to drive their coaches crazy because they're telling them play it straight, do all the right things, but these guys are going to be freewheeling now. All of them are going to take chances, and that one pays off with an INT and a return for 6.
And we'll see a return here from the end zone. The lane opens here. He's past the 30. And able to break this out all the way to the 38-yard line. Great return.
Here we go.
The Dolphins at the line, ready for their next drive. Where we stand right now in the fourth quarter, this one pretty much out of reach. And, Charles, I know they're going to be disappointed about several things with this ball game, but the self-inflicted wounds, they've had several turnovers. You would have to think that's going to be something they're going to discuss heavily in the film session in the coming days.
You're absolutely right about that, partner, because they're going to have to sit in that film room and watch every error that they made and figure out how to not do it in the future. And mentally, I think a lot of the guys are already starting to think about, okay, how do we put this behind us and get better for the next time out? This, they'll use as motivation for the rest of the time that they play to hopefully never be in this type of situation again.